before we go on to obviously the 80,000 people, let's jump forward. When you were in Manchester, you boxed a young man called Chris Eubank, and that was there was a big lot of noise about that fight. Were you surprised that some people thought that he would beat you?
By this point in my career, I wasn't surprised at all. You know, I've seen that the tides change time and time again, and I've seen me be writ off sort of time and time again. I was always really, really confident of winning that fight and winning it well. But I knew because he sort of knocked out his previous opponent, and because his dad, you know, was gaining real momentum, you know, he's back on the scene, you know, people were listening to him and they thought he was the Messiah, thought, oh, he's the knowledge, he knows the stuff. The son was, you know, formidable, he's going to knock out any middleweight, super middleweight, light heavyweight, anyone. And people were always going to get sort of sucked in because they are entertaining in that respect. But yeah, you know, it was a huge fight. I was excited for that. You know, first time there's been a sort of a big sale that hasn't been on Sky pay-per-view, so that was exciting for me. A bit more history, a bit more groundbreaking stuff to come from our side. But yeah, no, it was a great fight, a great win for me.
It was a good build-up, it was a good atmosphere in Manchester. Manchester is probably, I'll say it again, it's probably one of the best cities in the world, if not the best city, when it comes to fighting. No, if not the best city. The atmosphere is second to none before, during and after a fight. I can remember the day of the fight, I went to the hotel around the corner, I saw his dad, Chris Eubank Sr. And Chris beckoned me over to say, come, I have to show you something. So you got a video out of you and Junior sparring years ago. And his dad said, my son doesn't need a trainer. That, to me, just boom, big alarm bells going there. My son doesn't need a trainer. He does it himself. So it shows ignorance and arrogance for him to actually think that. And you actually made the win look so easy in comparison to the rest of them. So you kind of taught him a lesson to say, look, you've got to learn to box. You need a trainer. Do you think he's licked his wounds and learned a lesson from that fight with you?
Well, maybe. You know, I'm not. It's hard. It's really hard, Johnny. You know, I can tell him that at that point because I've been into big fights without a good trainer. You know, and you do need those guys. It's tough for a fighter to sort of have that thing where you feel like you rely on someone else because it's not who we are. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, you climb through the ropes, the bell goes, and it's just you. But you do need a real good, strong, you know, supporting team to sort of get the best out of you. And you know, his dad talks in riddles, so he's grown up listening to that. You know, is it going to be easy for him to find a trainer? I think it's going to be very difficult. Do you know what I mean? And the person who I've seen him, the only other trainer I've seen him hanging out with is Floyd Mayweather Sr., who speaks in riddles. So maybe that is the answer. You know, you know, we can't understand him, but maybe Junior can.
If you had to give him some advice, as to say go to trainer, to someone to improve you, make you better, who would you send him to? Who would you send him to go and train with? If you had to give him advice.
I don't know. Someone who'd command his respect, who he would listen to. Do you know what I mean? So you don't need to. You need to brush him up, really. I think, you know, he's got a great engine. He's physically very strong. You get him to teach him to punch harder, and add a few more layers to his game. But you're not going to be able to reinvent the wheel with him because he's 29. He's boxed the way he's boxed for his entire life. At the moment, he needs a static target to have success. So straight away, if you're going to fight at distance or move your feet or punch along with him, he's not going to have an answer for that. So there'll be things that he'd be looking to nullify people's strengths in that respect, and then be able to get his strengths, you know, implement them in a fight. But trainer-wise, I don't know. I'll train him if he wants. He can come down and do some pads.
I don't think that'd go down too well, but I don't think his dad would like that either.